Hello Internet, I'm the Disney Brain, and hiatuses sure suck, huh? And right off the bat of one of the best episodes of Beast Morphers so far. So, while we share in this agonizing wait, why not talk about another recent Nick show? One that nobody actually asked for, but we're getting anyway. An all new, all that. But, even though I say that, I actually don't think the idea of reviving this particular show is at all a bad one. Sketch comedy has been a dying art in mainstream popularity, both on the YouTube level, where its appeal has long since been replaced by gaming channels and vloggers, and on the family television level, after the disaster that was so random made the concept taboo until now. And with SNL the only other real player in today's game, to me, it makes sense to at least try to appeal to a younger demographic and see if lightning can strike twice. Plus, the way all that is uniquely ingrained into the fabric of Nickelodeon's storied history made such a thing inevitable anyways in this age, and rumor has it that they aren't stopping there either. And that's not underselling it. All That's 1994 premiere brought with it the rise of many talented individuals, as well as individuals, and almost single-handedly set the foundation for the rise of Dan Schneider as the focal point of Nick's sitcom programming, as he would continue to cultivate talent using this show as a base and create several popular shows, including two arguably better shows. And now we've come full circle, as Nick's original dynamic duo are back, and hopefully on better terms, as executive producers. And on top of his experience on this very show, Kenan Thompson is also bringing with him everything he learned from SNL. So yeah, for those of you younger viewers not in the know, All That started, well, all of that. And its success was nothing short of game-changing for the network. But how does this latest nostalgic revival handle the daunting task of trying to be all that, while also trying to revive the long-since abandoned angle of children's sketch comedy? Pretty damn well, actually, and here's how. First of all, this isn't an All That reboot, a la that Powerpuff Girls show nobody watches, or yeah. This is season 11, and they prove as much, firstly, by not touching the theme song. TLC got it just right the first time, so no overproduced, market-tested, shareholder-approved nonsense going on here. Secondly, they hold to certain standbys of the 90s and early 2000s show, while also smartly bringing in only a few old-school guests. We got Josh Server back for a spell, greeting the new cast and giving them advice on how to proceed. Kel Mitchell and Lori Beth Denberg got to do the same and play significant roles in the skits, so their guest spots were never just for show, but to capture really genuine feeling moments of passing the torch. And no moment was more clear on that front than one Lori Beth Denberg sharing the spotlight with newcomer Reese Cadell for a segment of vital information for your everyday life, and then bowing out of her most famous sketch in a moment of perfectly absurd symbolism that most revivals fail to wrap their heads around. But the real question is this show actually funny? To which I say, surprisingly, yeah, I think it kind of is. Now, let's immediately jettison the idea that most of these jokes are even meant for people like me, people who were very much alive when Danny Tamborelli was on damn near every episode of Figure It Out, and also people who just know who Danny Tamborelli is. That'll never be the point of this revival, nor should it be. But, similar to the Kim Possible movie, minus Athena's head-scratching contributions, I do think there might be just enough there for some old-school fans and new-school fans alike to enjoy, especially since Kel Mitchell, aka at least the second best part of All That, is back as both an executive producer and, for now, a main character. However, I'd predict the latter to be less true in future episodes as the rookies come into their own a bit more. But what it came down to with the sketches that I liked is that there was that classic bit of absurdity to them. The Nick Cannon and Beyonce parodies were almost too on point, and the punchline of Nick Cannon being so far up his own ass that there being two of them is just a thing that happens was pure gold. We already discussed what I loved about the Vital Information segment, and Good Burger is always a winner. Hell, I even loved the dumb movie they made with it way back when. But I actually thought that Marie Kiddo was the highlight here. The perfect blend of beautiful destructive nonsense, perhaps paying homage to the old Repairman Man skit, mixed with just the slightest helping of psychological instability.
He's gonna kill me! That's too bad. Do you not bring her joy?
Yeah, I'm not gonna forget that scene for a long time. The last segment didn't really land for me, but again, not really the target demo here. So I'm thankful that any of this was entertaining, and from where I'm standing, a lot of it just was. And yeah, the Jonas Brothers capping things off certainly helps win my favor. A coincidentally very fitting musical act, since the Jo Bros are also in the middle of their own revival tour, after taking some time to focus on themselves. All in all that had a really solid start to its 11th season. I have no idea if this particular iteration of the show will catch on enough to justify its existence, but as a fan of sketch comedy myself, I really hope it does. I really hope the generations behind me can have their own successful comedy show and potentially become inspired to do comedy through that. If that ends up being the only thing this revival accomplishes, it would be a job well done as far as I'm concerned. Another thing I really liked here is the constraint they had with bringing in old school cast members. The 3 we got here were absolutely enough and never really took away from what the new cast was doing. Save Good Burger, but come on. You're not going to do that skit in any other way while you have Kel around. So what I see potentially happening in future episodes is more skits like Vital Information or Good Burger, where we can have that nice mix of new and classic energy. Maybe Josh Server gets to reprise his old role as Detective Dan and train a brand new detective. That'd be fun. And with Keenan on hand as an executive producer as well, he can hop in anytime he wants. Either way, they'll almost certainly keep bringing back old cast members here and there for ideally tempered guest spots, since even before now, later seasons of this show did just that. Now, I know getting a certain guest would be a long shot because she hasn't been in the best places recently, and I'd totally respect her decision if she was approached and declined, because that stuff is more important. But man, I'd love to see Amanda Bynes again. Just throwing it out there. And by the way, the entire first episode is free on the All That and Nickelodeon YouTube channels, so if you feel like giving it a chance, not that hard to find, and you might just find yourself laughing a bit too. Next week, we'll get back to our regularly scheduled programming, but until then, thanks for watching.